Hi guys, thanks for checking the video out. I'm here with Roger Cleveland. You are, when it comes to wedges, you're the man.
Well, I've had some experience.
Yes, you've had some experience, being modest. So I get a lot of questions on my channel about bounce and about how much they should have and why maybe some players have different bounces in their different wedges. So if you're carrying 3 wedges, why they might go for a low bounce in one, a high in the other. What are your kind of opinions on that?
Well, first of all, let's talk about what is bounce. So let me take that one. Bounce, if I hold the shaft at 90 degrees, it's the trailing edge lower than the leading edge. That angle, okay, is your bounce angle. Okay. And because it's the shortest club in the bag, you will have the most bounce in your wedge setup. Okay, whether it's a pitching wedge to a gap wedge to a sand wedge to a lob wedge tends to go down a little bit, but you will always have more bounce than your 5-iron or 6-iron or so forth. Okay. Because it's the shortest club, it's the tightest arc. You do not want to pitch with the leading edge. You're not going to be effective. No. Okay, so you need the bounce and be able to use the bounce, and that's where technique comes in. But typically what happens, and there's a lot of misunderstanding, a lot of the amateurs feel that they need to have low bounce. And the pros, the best players in the world, which are right here, they will have the lowest bounce in their lob wedge. But that's 8 to 12 degrees. Okay. Your sand iron, okay, will go up in bounce, that angle, okay, because they'll tend to use it differently, and that's either a 54 or 56. And then your gap wedge is either a 50 or 52, okay? And so there's different bounces, and that tends to be more of a full shot or a little pitch and run shot. So you don't need a whole lot of bounce, but that's normally about 12 degrees, 10 to 12 degrees. But that goes into the set, and usually a set, the 9-iron has 9 degrees of bounce, and it's 8, and so forth down, and that's kind of a typical way of creating bounce and the proper skid into a shot. This is your skid plate, and most amateurs, they don't know how to use the skid plate. If you're on grass like this, if I'm pitching the ball from 30 yards in, I don't want to take a divot. No. Okay. If I take a divot, my hands are forward. Okay. I'm not using the entire bounce. I want to be releasing, and if you see, I'm not taking any divot there. I'm using the sole.
Yeah, the big one with the amateur, isn't it? I almost call it like anti-duff. They think they'll drive the hands in to make sure I don't hit it, and it causes massive issues. I'm not going to duff it. I'm going to hit the ball first. So I'm going to show us. Right? And so any miscue, that leading edge is bad. So what you want to do is use the skid plate, and I actually will try to aim half an inch to an inch behind the ball, okay, and let it slide. Mickelson will take it back and let it slide, and that was like a half an inch behind the ball. If you slowed that down, you would see. I'm letting that, it's like, if I can use the analogy of diving in a swimming pool with a cord on the top, like a lane cord. Okay. And I'm diving in the pool, I wouldn't dive in, I'm trying to go under the cord. I wouldn't dive in at the cord. I'd go in before the cord and out. And that's what you do. It's a mini bunker shot. You want to, 3 inches is where you hit behind a bunker shot. But here, it's about an inch. And you let the sole do its work. If I'm right at the ball, okay, my forward shaft lean, I'm de-lofting, and I'm exposing, I'm having less bounce, and I'm the potential of hitting down and not hitting it correctly is increased because of my forward shaft lean. I want to let that skid plate work, and so it's more forgiving. And with players because obviously the concept is the same generically. We want it to try and skid, but obviously you get some players go down slightly steeper than others. Is that when you'll start to give them slightly different bounces? So the bounce is the angle. Bounce also is width. Okay. So if the sole is wide, okay, which is really we have a W grind that we just came out with the MD3s, and it is a great sole, but it has a little bit less bounce because it is wide. Because that is the width, and it's great for softer conditions, softer bunkers. Wonderful, because when you open this up, you create a great deal of bounce when you open it up. Now, if I want to increase bounce, like this wedge, okay, this has a lot of bounce, but it's very narrow.
Okay.
Okay, so the narrower the sole that's exposed to the ground, the more bounce you need. The wider the sole, the less bounce.
Yeah.
Okay, and when you go into your sand wedges, which is 54, 56, you need a little bit more because you're using those and your gap wedges more for full shots or longer bunker shots. Okay, and that tends to be your bounce is your friend for sure.
Yeah, like I went from the MD2 into the MD3, so I got 54 with the wide bounce, and that's a beautiful club.
Yeah, and this is
so playable.
This is I think a 60 or 58 with the wide. We have wide. We have a C grind, which is relief on the heel and the toe, and we have an S, which is standard, which actually the bounce goes all the way. The same bounce goes all the way from heel to toe.
Okay, fantastic.
No. So, but you have to use this, and I think a lot of folks don't understand how the pros use that sole.
Yes.
Okay.